Alright guys, welcome to the last video about Yakushima. This is going to be about the hike I took to see Jomonsugi, which you will hear more about later on in the video. I woke up the following morning at 4 a.m. after I had stayed the night at Shunzo-san's house. And he woke up at 4 too, and drove me straight to the trailhead, which is really nice of him. I put the backpack over my shoulder and one tear fell. I'm just kidding. That didn't happen. I was way too tired because I slept like 3 hours for any crying. But anyway, so there was at the trailhead there was a shuttle. It was like 15 minutes on that shuttle bus to like where the actual trailhead was. And then I went, and it was supposed to be. I'm pretty sure they said it was supposed to be a 10-hour hike, if I'm not mistaken. But I ended up doing it in like 5 and yeah. Just arrived at the trailhead for Jomonsugi, the legendary old ass tree. The trail is supposedly an old, like lumber transport thing. They transport lumber along this railway. It has long since been abandoned, but pretty sweet. It's fucking hard to walk on. The like distance between the logs used in the track are like not big enough for my leg span. This is gonna suck. Oh hey, that's tight. Jomonsugi. This way, across the bridge. This is nuts. So I'm just like, you know, following the trail, and I see a bush moving, and I'm like, huh, what is that? And there's just like a monkey here. Oh, sorry. He doesn't like me. Legit though, I am totally an elf wandering through Middle Earth right now. There's just no other analogy. It fits with how this place feels. Quick, Legolas, tell me what you see with your elf eyes. This forest is old. Really old. Old as balls. Okay, but seriously, right here, is this not where they filmed Frodo and Sam hiding from the ring wraiths? Like, it's exactly, it's perfect. Mm-hmm. So I'm currently in Wilson's log, or stump, Wilson's stump, yes.
and it is, well, I could live in here. It's bigger than my girlfriend's apartment was. It's a pretty big tree, or at least it used to be. About an hour and a half into hiking, it started pouring rain. It is going to continue until the end of the day, and I'm just stoked about that. They even put like a little shrine in this tree. It's pretty awesome.
And I was an idiot and forgot to bring anything to put my phone in that was waterproof, so my phone just got completely soaked and broke, which sucked.
Arrived at my destination, Jumonsugi, which is Japanese for big ass old tree. Just kidding. Sugi means like cedar, but I have no idea what Jomon means. I assume it's something impressive. Yeah. I made it to the big ass old cedar tree in the pouring down rain. I can't even get all of it. Man, they couldn't have cut down some branches or something? Make it a little easier to see. Just because there really isn't any like point of reference to see like just how big this tree is. It's about the size of a small apartment building. It's that wide. It's about as wide as 10 normal like park trees.
So because I did this hike so incredibly fast, by the time I got back to where the shuttle bus was supposed to take me back, I had about 3 hours until that was going to happen, until the first shuttle bus would come. So I was screwed. But luckily, some other hikers ended about the same time as me, and they were going to call a taxi, and so I ended up riding in the same taxi as them. It was like kind of like a taxi bus. So we get into this taxi, and the first thing, they're like, hey, YAyyyy, get in the front. Like, I sat in the front next to the driver, and as soon as I open the passenger side door, I see a massive, massive spider, like legs long as carrots. It's kind of a weird analogy. Anyway, it was a large spider, and it, like, as soon as I opened the door, it was just there, and then it kind of slowly, menacingly crawled into like a hole in the body of the car, and I kind of just like slowly looked at the driver, and he was just looking at me like nothing, and I looked at other people. No one else saw this spider, so I was like, am I gonna make a big deal about this, like freak out about a big spider when these guys were nice enough to let me drive along, or am I just gonna take it? So I took it, and I sat in there, but the entire time I was sitting in the front seat, I was like looking down and like stomping my foot, like to kind of like, in case the spider decided to come out of the hole again, I like scare back in. But everyone else was like, what the hell is wrong with this guy stomping in my car? Like, especially the driver. The driver, for some reason, was not that excited that I was there. I don't know, like, first of all, I look at this guy's name tag, and his, like, the characters that make up his name are One Forest Cedar Tree. That's his name, and he works at Yakushima, a giant forest full of cedar trees. So I discovered this and thought, oh my gosh, what a coincidence. That's hilarious. Maybe I'll, you know, do a hey, nice name, you know. So in Japanese, in good Japanese, I said to him, oh, that's kind of a coincidence. Your name is is one tree cedar, one forest cedar. And he just kind of looked at me like, what? And just didn't say anything. I was like, okay, maybe you didn't get it. Maybe my Japanese was wrong. So as we're going down the mountain back to the trailhead, the Japanese people I took the taxi with, like the entire time they were talking to the taxi driver, and he was really like well educated about the area, and he was like talking about the history of Yakushima and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, one of the Japanese passengers sees his name tag and goes, "Oh, that's funny. Your name's One Forest Cedar Tree, and you work here. Isn't that a coincidence?" And then they all just start laughing hysterically, and I was like, "That was my joke. That was my joke. That's not cool. Why wasn't it funny when I said it?" But anyway, we get to the bottom of the mountain. He drops the Japanese people off at a onsen, a hot spring, and then they tell me, there's a bus stop like right over there, so that'll take you back to your hotel. I go to the bus stop, and it's about 2.5 hours until the next bus comes, because I'm on a tiny little island that has like 2 buses on it anyway, so they're very sparse. And therefore I decided to get out of the rain, and I went to a nearby car garage, and I asked them if they could maybe call me a taxi, and they're like, "Oh, you don't want to do that, like just wait here and like kick back and just go to the bus whenever it comes." So I was like, "Oh, these guys are nice as hell." So there I am sitting at like the break table of a car garage, and the guy comes out with like a whole, like, I don't know what to call it, because like bunches come off of this, barrel sized amount of bananas that were still connected to the stalk. And he was like, "Hey, these are Yakushima